What's going on, y'all? I'm Brandon Atlanta Man Bang coming to you live right here at Coach's Corner, the center of the universe, Coach's Sports Network. Hey, man, another installment of Rubbin' and Grubbin'. Rubbin' is racing, grubbin' is tasting. Thank you guys for tuning in. Man, we got a lot of stuff to go over tonight, a lot of news popping out, getting ready to head into one of the coolest tracks on the circuit, man. I tell you what, it is going to be an awesome race coming up this Sunday and a great show tonight. So if it's your first time tuning in, you know how we like to start it out. We always start it out with the word of the day. So if you've never tuned in, the way we play this game is basically every time I say a word tonight, you're going to take a sip of your favorite adult beverage. I always like to say it's age appropriate. If you're under the age of 21, hey, it's Wednesday. Day before Cinco de Mayo, man, we're going to start getting it on. Get some sugar, energy drink, Kool-Aid, sweet tea. Stay up late on a Wednesday, man. Give it hell as well. So moving right along, last week's word of the day was, let me see here, monster. So heading into that Monster Mile there at Dover, I'm sure I said that quite a few times last week. If you played along, you probably had a pretty good buzz by the end of the show, man. So there again, Lawrence going to throw a word up this week. This week's word of the day is going to be, I have no idea, but every time I say it, make sure you take a sip, man. All right, moving right into some NASCAR news. Hey, before we get this thing started, I got to give a big happy birthday wishes out there to my son, Mr. Caden. Hey, happy birthday. His birthday's tomorrow, big 16. Man, I tell you what, went by too fast, man. Cinco de Mayo, baby. Man, I love you, hero. Hope you have a good day tomorrow, man. I'm going to see you here whenever I get to the house, man. Love you, dude. But, hey, Chase Elliott, my main man, you heard it right here first last week, comes home with that victory at Dover. I tell you what, I'm loving it right now. Leading the points, finally got the monkey off his back per se and got that first win of the season. Sky's the limit, man. I'm telling you right now, he's coming forward. It's going to be a Chase Elliott kind of year this year. You heard it here first, man. Mark my words. All-Star Race at Texas has been released. The format got released this week. I tell you what, kind of crazy. If you ask me, there's some more craziness thrown in there by NASCAR. Man, I'm not even going to waste the time of going through all the different things that go into this format, but it is for a nice, cool, collected $1 million, so you know everybody's going to give it all they got. Go to NASCAR.com, Google it on the internet, man. Research that format. It is something crazy and wild. I'm not going to judge it till I see it, but to me, it's just a little bit too far out there, man, but at least it's during the All-Star race and not a regular season point-paying race, man. So Kyle Busch and JGR, man, is he staying? Is he going? This has been like the biggest headlines ever going throughout the week leading into last weekend and this week. Man, I tell you, I think Joe Gibbs is going to be absolutely silly if he does not find a way to re-sign Kyle Busch. I mean, sponsorship is everything in this sport. We know that. Without it, it's kind of hard to make the world go round. But you see Rick Hendrick do it there with Hendrick Motorsports and Kyle Larson quite often. I don't see why Joe Gibbs can't come up with something, man, to make it happen for Kyle Busch. I mean, when you look at it, this guy has pretty much made that organization. I'm not going to say he built it. You did have Tony Stewart. You did have Bobby Labonte there, a couple past champions. But Kyle Busch, man, I mean, come on. This guy possibly could go down as one of the greatest of all time. So got to figure out a way to get it done. But there is going to be a seat open somewhere else that his personality kind of fits the ownership, and that's going to be Stewart Haas. So we'll see maybe if Kyle Busch makes a change, slides over there to that 10 car or changes that car number up or whatever may happen for Stewart Haas. But I tell you what, it's going to be interesting to see if they lock him down or not. But in my eyes, Truex contract year, I think it's got to happen. I think he's got to stay at Gibbs. To me, Gibbs got to sign him career. As long as he wants to stay in that seat, he's got to keep him there. But happy birthday wishes out there to the Candy Man as well. His birthday was on Monday, I'm pretty sure. So 37, man. Long career still ahead of him if he wants another 10 years easy. So we'll have to keep an eye on that, man. Hey, thank you guys for tuning in. As I always say, please go out, like, share, follow all that social media out here on Rubbin' and Grubbin'. Man, you can find us on Twitter. You can find myself on Twitter, Instagram. Definitely make sure you go like, share, and subscribe to that YouTube channel. It is absolutely amazing. Lawrence does a great job throwing some extras in there and producing that. Posted every Sunday, Saturday night, Sunday. I tell you what, it's awesome. If you haven't yet, please go do that. Like I say, the more eyes we can get on the show, hopefully the more money we raise for our charitable causes that we do up here at Coaches, because ultimately that's what it's all about. John and Adele Henderson have blessed me enough to be able to come up here and talk NASCAR, but ultimately I love doing the charity work. I love doing the charity events. I love everything that we do here at Coaches that is charitable, and it all stays local in the Savannah area, man. That is the best part about it. So like I said, check out that social media, like, share, follow. All it does is pay dividends for us, man. Greatly appreciated, y'all. Hey, got a new series coming out. I can't remember if it's on Netflix or what series it's on, but it's coming out called Baby Drivers, man. It's a look into the youth circuit of go-kart racing. Well, why is it on Rubbin' and Grubbin'? Man, we know this is where some of these kids get their start. I mean, they got kids in go-karts at 3, 4, 5 years old out here, man. I mean, you see Kyle Larson's got his boy out there in quarter midgets running his thing on dirt, doing his thing. I tell you, everybody's got their own way to go about it, but this is an outlet to get into the sport of NASCAR. I think it's great. I think the more eyes we get into it, the better it's going to be. So make sure you go and check that out, man. Hey, Larry McReynolds, Larry Mack himself was back in that booth Sunday. I tell you, NASCAR and Fox have done an amazing job putting some real all-star super guys in that booth this year. It's been entertaining. It's been awesome. The outlooks from drivers, from former crew chiefs, from legends. Man, I tell you, and it is not going to change going into Darlington for that throwback weekend this weekend. I think this could possibly be one of the best lineups you see in the booth ever, man. You got the king himself, my Uncle Bobby's favorite driver of all time out there, Richard Petty, calling stage 1. Stage 2, there again, former NASCAR champion and Bobby Labonte giving his input on it, calling that second stage. And that third and final stage, Awesome Bill from Dawsonville, a.k.a. $1 Million Bill Elliott, going to be calling that thing. You see my throwback I'm wearing, my Uncle King's favorite driver. I actually got this shirt from my great uncle, man. So big shout out to my Uncle King out there. Hope you're watching tonight. Love you. Be seeing you here towards the end of the month. I got to text you and let you know when we're headed up there to Southern Illinois to come hang with the family. But what a lineup, man, in that booth. I tell you, you get driver perspective from all kinds of different eras there. Guys that did different things in the sport. I mean, we all know $1 Million Bill got the name for winning the Winston Million. Hence the throwback Winston Cup hat I got. I would put it on, but I look like Elmer Fudd in it, so I'm not going to do that tonight. They don't make them like this anymore. But I tell you what, man, an awesome deal. Can't wait to see their input on the sport, and I hope Fox keeps it up and gets some other big names up in that booth, man. So moving right along, hey, we're going to move into that checkered flag for charity, man. This is pretty much my favorite outlet for the show right here. I mean, this is the main reason I come up here and do this. We get to raise money for a cause. I mean, what the hell, I hadn't done it yet, but we'll get the swear bucket up here. Boom, there it is, baby. I'll throw $1 in there. Basically everything, what we do for the checkered flag for charity is every single week, whatever car number wins that race, we throw it into that and we add it up to a total. I've said it a million times, I'll say it again. This year we're doing it for a close personal friend of mine and my wife, Lindsay. We're doing it for her daughter. She passed away unexpectedly. Her daughter survived. We're raising an education fund, man. So we got a lot of big things coming up here at Coach's Corner. Cooler full of joys. I've got some raffles we're doing, beach giveaways. I got all kinds of stuff we're doing throughout the summer up here at Coach's and into the fall, man. I'm blessed enough that John and Adele there again have given me the opportunity to use this platform to raise this money. It just speaks volumes on what kind of people they are and what Coach's Corner is all about. So there again, man, if you watch the race, you know my main man, Chase Elliott, won it. I called it. 9 car. 9's never good enough, man. Anything under that 20 of Christopher Bell is always going to be the 20. So another 20 goes in. That rolls our total over to $1,125 on the year. We're only 11 races in. We're headed into 12. That brings us a third of the way through the season. So we got 26 more races to keep raising this money. Like I said, for Miss Payson Thompson, we're going to raise that education fund. We're going to get this money up. We're going to do a lot of good and great things up here as we always do at Coaches. None of this is possible without the patrons. I say this all the time. If you ever come up after work, you're here to eat dinner with the family, you want to donate to Checkered Flag for charity, you want to donate to the cause, round it up, man. Doesn't matter what it is. You want to donate $5, having cold beers with some buddies, everybody throw 5 in, man. You see, tell your waitress, tell your waiters, tell your bartender, hey, if you see John and Adele walking by, throw it to them. They're going to make sure it goes to the right place for the right cause, man, and that's what it's all about. As I say all the time, doesn't matter, nickels, pennies, dimes, 10, 20s, 150s, whatever you got to donate, you get to feel good, it goes for a good cause, and it all stays local right here to the Savannah area, man. So that's what it's all about. Hey, got to give a big shout out here to my main man, Mr. Parker Eccles over there at Arbor Man Tree Service. one of my main sponsors on the Coaches Rubbin' and Grubbin Coaches Corner Sports Network. He sponsors Rubbin' and Grubbin for me every single year. Stand-up guy, man. Arbor Man Tree Service, locally owned, locally operated, taking care of all your tree service needs, man. So there again, if you ever need an estimate, you don't really know what you need, give Parker a call, man. He'd be glad to come out, whether it's stump grinding, tree removal, cutting back some limbs. And like I said, if you don't know, he's going to be honest and upfront with you and let you know what you can slide on and let you know what you need to take care of. You're going to see that number scrolling at the top of the screen tonight. There again, as I always say, locally owned, locally operated. No job too big, too small, no tree too tall. Make sure you give Parker a call, man. So he always sponsors the Who's Hot and Who's Not. And that's what we're moving right into, man, and this is going to be a pretty good one tonight, I'm telling y'all right now. So moving into that Who's Hot, come on, man, you know who takes over the top spot. Chase Lil Bill Elliott out there doing the damn thing, getting the win, locking it down, first win of the season. He was already leading the points without a win coming in. The man is on fire this year, consistently, quietly consistent, doing what he's got to do to lead this points. I'm telling you, now he's leading both sides of it, playoffs, and he's leading the regular season. I'm telling you right now, he's going to be hell to reckon with, man. You better get ready for it because he's bringing that thunder. I feel like now that he got this one win, we might be talking about 5, 6, 7, 8 wins for that 9 team this year. That was the longest winless streak that he had of his career. He finished it, got that oval win. I'm telling you right now, him and Alan Gustafson are going to be a duo that's going to go down in the history books. Get ready for it, man. I don't know how many more he's going to win. I'm going to say over 4 races this year. Elliott's going to win over 4 wins this year. Mark it. You heard it here first on Rubbin' and Grubbin', man, for sure. All right, man. Hey, I can't go without. It was the guy that's been on top of the list a couple times here throughout the season. Mr. Ross Chastain, the watermelon man himself, did fall 1 spot on this list, but I still got him in there, man. I'm telling you what, it is absolutely amazing what Trackhouse has been able to put together in that one team. The 99 is right there hunting for a win as well. I think they've grown consistently good this year as well compared to last year. It seems like once they purchased Ganassi Racing, it was all over, man. They're doing big things. They've already got 2 wins there in the one car with Ross Chastain. I'm telling you, 7 out of 11 races run, this man has finished in the top 5. 7 out of 11 top 5 finishes. I mean, that is really good. Now, the one question mark and the one thing that is going to hurt him, he only has 1 stage win. So when we do reset these points here coming into the playoffs, if he doesn't have a few more stage wins, it's definitely going to hurt him. But there again, we'll have to see if he can maintain the consistency that they've shown through the first 11. If they can do it through the next 10, 11, 12, 13 races, we'll see what happens. But as of right now, they're going to ride the high, and as long as they keep bringing good equipment, I'm telling you, I think the guy's aggressive. He's not folding to anybody, any veterans. He's not taking no shit from nobody. I'm telling you right now, Ross Chastain is holding his own. The biggest key is consistency. Can he maintain it? We're going to have to wait and see. Kyle Busch, my main man, Sean Ear's favorite driver. Yeah, he's in the house tonight. Hey, Kyle Busch continues to show why he's possibly going to go down as one of, if not the greatest of all time. I mean, what this kid has done in the sport since coming in at a ripe young age to where he is now, is still a young age at 37, is absolutely phenomenal. I don't know if you can consider him the greatest. He's going to be probably the winningest driver in all 3 series combined. But I tell you what, be on the lookout, man. I think they're finally getting this next-gen car dialed in over there in the 18 camp. I think over the Toyotas and the Gibbs Racing, he is definitely the strongest one. I expect him to win at least a couple more races this year. Man, I tell you what. Oh, thank you, brother. Greatly appreciated as always, man. Love you, dude. But I tell you what, as I like to say, man, for people like Sean Erb that is a fan of the Candy Man, hey, you better get used to it, man, and he's going to be in victory lane again, giving everybody cavities. So I hope y'all really got some good dental insurance, man, because expect to see him there again taking a couple more checkered flags before the season's over with for sure, man. So moving into the second part, and this is the Who's Not. And LB's going to get upset with me about this because he's a Ford man, and Dan inside is going to be upset. He's a big Ford guy. Man, I tell you what, those blue ovals are struggling, man. Penske did not show up at all at Dover. I know Ryan Blaney stayed out, and he got that stage win, which does pay those playoff points, that 1 playoff point. So they got a strategy, man, and Brian Blaney's nothing to shy at. He's sitting inside that top 3 as well, and Logano's not far behind. I'm just used to seeing these guys run up front and contend for wins. So is Darlington a place they could get it turned around? I'm not sure, but as a whole, we've only got 2 Fords that won so far through 11 races, which is something to be said. We're going to have to see if they can get it together. And to be honest, there's only one Penske, and that's Austin Cindric that's won a race in the 500, first race of the year. So Ford's struggling a little bit. I don't know if it's just the next-gen car or if they're just slacking a little bit behind, but they got to get it together because those blue ovals are definitely falling behind those bow ties and those Hendrick boys, man. So they got to get it together. Denny Hamlin, whoo, man, you know he had to make the not list, man. And this isn't even about the stuff in the news about the sensitivity training and the remarks, which, by the way, I love what Kyle Larson said. Kyle Larson said, I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was funny, which I know they're friends and they golf together. But there again, man, with the image and what you got to carry not only as a team owner, but as a driver as well, you can't be putting stuff out there like that. And I said it a couple weeks ago, not only are you a team owner, you're also partnered up with Michael Jordan, a minority owner in the sport, and you have a minority driver, man. I don't care if it's what kind of racism it is or racist. I don't take it. I let it slide off my back any form of way. But at the end of the day, when you're in a professional spotlight, you can't do that, man. You just can't happen. But that's not the reason he's making the not list. The reason he's making the not list is because other outside of Richmond, he is struggling, man. I don't know if his mind's in other places. I don't know if he's focused on that 23-11 more than he is over there at Gibbs. I don't know what's going on with him, but he is struggling bad. He struggled at Dover, leading the race. How you pull off, man, without getting a front wheel tightened on, lose the wheel, you lose a crew chief, then NASCAR suspends the wrong damn guy because of who you had listed. Man, you just dug yourself in a deeper hole for 4 more races when you're already struggling, and you're headed into one of your best racetracks, man. So I'm not going to say Denny Hamlin can't come and win here at Darlington coming up on Sunday. I just think that it's definitely going to be a lot more to do. So we'll see what he does. We'll see if he can get it rebounded, headed back in the right direction. But I don't see it happening at Darlington. We're just going to have to wait and see and find out, man. So as we're talking about loose wheels, I'm gonna go ahead and say something and be on the bandwagon that I've been on all season long. I think that the penalty for the loose wheel is a little bit too stiff. I mean, the crew members I get, the jack man and the wheel changer, the tire changer for that side or that front or rear that happened, I get. I understand that. And I understand the safety aspect of it. I mean, if one of these wheels get loose on the track, car hits this thing going 170 miles an hour and it bounces and launches up into the stands, that's a death, maybe multiple deaths, if not serious injury to fans and bystanders. So I totally understand it. But what I am going to say is to lose a crew chief, a guy that basically runs that whole pit crew, sets that car up, that you build that communication and that relationship with throughout the years or throughout the season, that's a little stiff, man. You're asking an awful lot. Not only are you losing crew members, you're also losing the main man on the crew, the crew. So there again, I think it's something NASCAR's got to look at. I don't know what the answer is to it. I mean, obviously we can't tether tires on. We can't tether wheels on. I wish there was a way, but it's just not, plausible. So we've got to figure it out. I think there's a fine balance there, whether it be slowing down a little bit on the pit stops, whether it be maybe a 2-lug system, right? A single lug, but you put maybe a locking lug on and then another lug over that somehow. I don't know. I'm sure it's, technically possible. I mean, we can do anything. Hell, we're flying spaceships. I mean, anything's possible. So I think it's something NASCAR is looking into. I know they're taking looks into it. I know that, it's a safety deal with them. I just think that they got to wind this penalty back down. Maybe not this year, but maybe next year come out and go, instead of 4 races, maybe 2 or some other form of penalty, some money penalty, some point penalties. Something's got to happen, but I know that it costs these guys a lot losing their main man for 4 races. So that's going to make the not list as well this week. So hope you guys are having a great Wednesday night, man. Thank you guys for tuning in as always. I got some ice cold water. I'm going to tell you right now, they damn sure don't make t-shirts like this anymore. This thing is the thickest damn t-shirt I've ever felt in my life. That's why it's been around forever. It's about 83 degrees down here in Savannah today. Humid, humid, humid. I'm sweating. Please pause for station identification right here on Coach's Corner Sports Network, y'all.
Woo! You my boy, Blue!
All right. Moving right into this Dover recap, I tell you what, over the last couple seasons, Dover has been, I'm not going to say a boring race, but it has lost some of the nostalgia that it has over the years. I mean, the Monster Mile was always a cool track. It is always very unique, right? I mean, a 1 mile track, 24-degree banking, concrete. We're used to seeing tire wear. We're used to seeing it spread out. And over the last few years with that last generation race car that we had, we just didn't see that. We saw that track position was everything, a lot of single file. Not that we didn't see a little bit of that on Sunday, but we did see a lot of lead changes. We did see a lot of good tire wear, and we did see some cautions and some mishaps. So I think the next-gen car performed very, very well there at Dover. I'm going to go back and say this. This is something I've touched base on quite often this season. NASCAR and the schedule, we need to get Dover back to 2 races a year. I mean, I know it's an independently owned track, I think, or maybe Speedway Inc. owns it. I'm not sure who owns it. But at the end of the day, we got to get 2 of them back. Dover is just an awesome racetrack, unique, one of a kind. There again, we got to bounce some things around. We got to take a couple of these road courses out. I mean, we just knocked Kentucky off the schedule. We're down to 1 Dover race. We're kind of losing touch with some of our route racetracks. Kentucky was a newer one, but Dover's been around forever, man. Dover's awesome. So NASCAR, if you're watching, if you're listening, please, y'all, put another Dover race back on that schedule along with some other things that I talk about, man. Let's revamp the schedule, get rid of a couple road courses. Like I say, we'll get it figured out. But I just wanted to touch base on that, man. Rain came on Sunday just right after 78 laps there at Dover, so the race got pushed back, got canceled on Sunday, got pushed back to Monday where we restarted. And I tell you what, it was an absolutely beautiful day there in Dover, Delaware on that Monster Mile, man. That was an awesome, awesome race to watch. So saw some guys had some trouble, including the 11. I mean, we saw what happened to him on pit road, came in leading, came out. Wheel wasn't tight on the front, lost that wheel. Man, it cost him severely. He never really rebounded from that. Cheers, Lawrence. Never really rebounded from that, man. But I will tell you this. Not only that, a heartbreak for me was watching A.J. Allmendinger. I listened to him on Sirius on Dave Moody's show there. He was on earlier in the week, and he had said he'd been doing some sim racing there, getting ready, getting prepared for Dover. And I tell you, it sounded like he was very confident in what they had in the 16 in Colleague, and he kind of showed up and showed it, man. I mean, he was running, top 10, 12, 15 there for a good while, very racy. I mean, I thought he could have got a top 10 finish for sure. And there again, loose wheel cost him, came up to bite him. And if you were watching, you kind of saw his frustrations. He got out. He was not very happy. And I don't think it was a loose wheel that cost him the day. I think they might have busted a brake line or busted something that pretty much kind of ended the day there. He got out. Was not very happy. He contemplated on punching one of the toolboxes there outside of his hauler, and he thought better of himself, which I really admire, because broken hand isn't going to go, broken shift hand and wheel hand isn't going to do anything for you. That box is going to win every time. Metal over flesh is never a good idea. So, but big shout out there to A.J. Allmendinger on a good run. Just didn't quite get that finish, but keep your eye open anytime you see A.J. Allmendinger in that 16 car this year, especially on those road courses. The man's going to contend for a win, definitely on those road courses. But I definitely see him helping Colleague build that program. There again, he's just got to get those finishes. We got to get the mishaps on pit road dialed in, and just keep bringing good equipment, man. You keep doing your thing, A.J., you're going to get the finishes, brother. Promise you that. So a total of 10 crew members total throughout the sport are suspended coming into this next race, man. That is something big to be said. It's definitely going to cost these teams. There again, losing that crew chief and losing these main starting guys for your pit crew that change these tires and jack these cars up. I'm telling you right now, that hurts you big time. Not that they don't have guys to fill in, but it's not the same. These guys are like a ballet. They work together. They're a team. They practice together. They work together. They eat together. They travel together 36, 38 weeks out of the year. So that connection and that relationship that they build, not only with the driver but together as a team, it definitely pays off when it comes down to money time, when it comes down to that last stop of the day, or it comes down to doing what they got to do to help their driver gaining spots on pit road. So they're definitely going to suffer a little bit here coming into Darlington for sure. This track is very abrasive. You're going to have some very high tire wear, I feel like, as long as Goodyear and NASCAR bring a very good compound there. I think it's something that you're going to have to look out for and watch and see what happens with these teams that got guys filling in, and if they make the same mistakes or a little bit slower on pit road, but it definitely hurts for sure. So there again, we already touched base on it. My main man, Chase Elliott, brings home that win for the first win of his 2022 season. That locks down all 4 Hendrick drivers now that have a win. First team organization to have all their drivers with a win this year. Rick Hendrick knows what he's doing. If you keep up with the sport, this guy's, I mean, multi-time champion. I mean, 4 with Gordon, 7, I mean, with Jimmy Johnson. We've got 1 with Larson. We've got 1 with Chase Elliott, and we rewind the clock further, he's got a couple other ones. So, you know, there again, I'm telling you, the man knows what he's doing. He's got the right people in the right places with Gordon and Chad Knaus and Ray Evernham. I mean, those are 3, 1 great driver and 2 very, very bright-minded crew chiefs and very bright-minded engineers there leading behind the scenes. So these guys definitely know what they're doing, and I think that adding Chad Knaus in and helping him lead these engineers in the right direction and figuring out what they're doing, especially with this brand new next-gen race car, it's going to be hard to beat. It's going to be hard to beat Hendrick over the next decade, man. I mean, these drivers are very young. Kyle Larson is the oldest one in that camp. So these guys, as talented as they are, I don't see any of them going anywhere. They're all race winners. They're all very competitive week in and week out. You know, we might see a car or two have a bad run or get caught up in some trouble, as we saw Kyle Larson spinning out there at Dover, but battle back to have a good finish, top 10 finish. But these guys are on it, man. And Chase Elliott, I'm telling you, I feel like this is going to be a second championship run right here for him. I think we saw Kyle Larson and his dominance last year, and I think it kind of lit a fire underneath him. You know, when Kyle Larson can go out and run that same equipment and get the wins that he got and do what he does, I definitely think that you're going to see Chase Elliott start to build on it. Now, it's 2 totally different driving styles. Larson is, you know, probably one of the best behind the wheel. He's a wheel man. I mean, he's going to figure it out, good car, bad car, you know, whether it's handling good or bad, he's going to drive the wheels off of it and do it. And not that Chase doesn't do that, but Chase is a little bit more cerebral, man. He kind of plans through that race before the race even starts, where he wants to be at a certain point. What are we going to do? What's the track going to do? He's very Gordon-esque, I like to call it. You know, he'll take a 15th place car and finish 8th. And that's what it's all about when you talk about the greats of the sport and you talk about championship runs. That's what it takes to make it happen. So you heard it here first. I'll take Chase Elliott, lock him down. Not only is my favorite driver, but just what he's been able to do, quietly consistent. We're getting into that run 1.5 miles, which has been a weakness for him. I think that we're going to see him compete on these 1.5 miles more often than not. So there again, I think that when we get down to the Final 4, if you see Chase Elliott in it and we're there at Phoenix, he's going to have a shot to wrap it up, man. I'm betting on it for sure. So moving right in, man, we're getting into that Darlington Throwback weekend. This is one of the coolest weekends NASCAR does. I think this was a great idea when they started doing this. It was there in that Labor Day race in September when we went from 2 down to 1 at Darlington for some reason there for a while, and now we're back to 2. And it's on Mother's Day, man. So big shout out to the moms, NASCAR moms out there. Big shout out to all those moms. But I'm telling you what, this is one of the coolest themes that NASCAR does. I mean, they pay homage to the roots, the legends of the sport, the paint schemes. If you haven't yet, make sure you go out and check that out. NASCAR.com's got quite a few. You can Google a few of them. I mean, you've got the 98 Dale Jr. and Dale Sr. paint schemes by Trackhouse running the Coca-Cola schemes from when they went to Japan. You've got, oh man, they're awesome looking. Lee Petty and Richard Petty over there at, you know, Richard Petty Motorsports. They're doing their thing, paying homage. You got Hendricks paying Throwback. Everybody pays, you know, some respect to the guys that came before them and the historic drivers and the history of the sport. So I absolutely love it, and it is going to be an awesome race. I mean, moving into the track, Too Tough to Tame, the Lady in Black. This thing has been a staple of NASCAR since the 40s. There is no track like it. 1.5 miles, 2 totally different turns. It is slick. It is fast. It is abrasive. It is hell on the drivers to handle. You can't set the car up for both ends of the racetrack, so you got to be one or the other. You got to figure it out. It changes so much. This is going to be an awesome race, and the next-gen cars perform very well everywhere other outside of Martinsville. So there again, moving into this weekend, I expected to put on a awesome performance there at Darlington. So we're going to have to keep an eye out. Make sure you tune into that race. I think green flag's at 3:30, somewhere right around 3:30. So make sure you tune into that. It is going to be one for the history books, you can guarantee, man. So, you know, there again, you know, who knows what the tires are going to do? We have no idea. I don't know the compound that NASCAR is bringing in, but I really hope it's soft enough to where we do see tire wear, where we do see guys have to manage these tires, because it adds another aspect of the driver capability. I mean, when you bring a hard tire with no tire wear, they're able to go out and just run it. I love tracks that where you have to manage these tires, where some guys manage early and they're good in that long run. Later in that run, they start coming on, and guys that come out and they get that lead and kind of wear off and fall back. So these are all just things that come into play week in and week out, especially at some of these older mile and a halves in the southern region. Atlanta was one forever. You know, Darlington. I mean, there's just so many of them out there. Charlotte's that way. I mean, the more seasons they get put on a racetrack, the more abrasive it becomes. Atlanta, to me, is, I'm telling you, in 5-6 years, that is going to be a race to watch. I mean, it already is. The new Atlanta is awesome, but it's going to be a race to watch. And I love the fact that Darlington there again is back, you know, holding this thing down. Hadn't repaved it yet. I know they did some stuff, you know, patched some stuff years back and throughout. But man, I tell you what, it is one of my favorite races of the year, and I am ready for it. So Martin Truex Jr. Won that race last spring. That was an awesome race there. There was a lot of contenders back and forth up front, a lot of different strategies, which I love about Darlington. We're going to have to see if he can come out and do it again. I mean, it's one of his better racetracks, along with one of his other, you know, Joe Gibbs Racing teammates. We're losing some team members there on that 11. I don't know quite if they're going to be bringing it back. But at the end of the day, we're just going to have to wait and find out. I mean, it's been very consistent, I say, through the top 5 to 7 drivers throughout the season. A lot of those guys are staying up there. But from 5 backwards, it seems like those guys shuffle in and out every single week. You'll have a couple guys for a couple weeks. They'll fall back and have some bad runs, as we saw with Penske there, the Ryan Blaney and Joey Logano. I don't know when you got to go, how far back you got to go to see him 3 laps down on a racetrack without being big-time damage. So it's just one of those learning curves that we're learning with the next-gen car. But we're going to have to see how it all plays out there at Darlington on Sunday, and I'm super stoked for it, man. So moving right into that top 5, I mean, this was a really hard top 5 for me to make, because Darlington is so unique in what it does and so unique in the style and what it takes to go fast around it and survive. So at the end of the day, this top 5 might be a little biased. It might seem a little crazy. But I'm going to go ahead and call it out here, man. I'm going with Chase Elliott, number 1 again there at Darlington. He's got to win at Darlington. I'm going to say he's the first guy of the season to win back-to-back races. So we'll call that out. You heard it here first if it happens. I don't know if it will, but I know he'll be up there contending. I feel like once now we got that win there last weekend at Dover, I feel like this team can go out and win every single week if they bring a fast race car, if they qualify well, if they keep their nose clean, if they put themselves in position, and that the pit crew hits all their marks and does good. I feel like Chase can definitely bring home another checkered flag in back-to-back weekends, man. So we'll see what he can do. But he's going to go number 1 on that top 5 this week. Number 2, Kyle Larson. I know Vegas. I looked at that. You know, I tell you guys all the time, I write this show Sunday after the race and just kind of plug in the news as we keep up with it through the week. But I'll take Kyle Larson second. I know Vegas has him as the favorite. I think he's 5-1, which doesn't surprise me. The guy is a talent. I think that he's probably going to be in the top 3 at almost every single racetrack that we go to. There for a while, some of those restrictor plate races, you might see him fall outside that top 3 in the betting favorites. But now with what we just saw a couple weeks ago at Talladega, him bringing home a good finish there, I think he's kind of got an all-around well game to where week in and week out, Kyle Larson can go out and contend for a win. We saw him kind of have a little bit of trouble at Dover. He spun out, cost some track position, cost a little bit of damage. Might have hurt the race car a little bit. Not too bad. He came back to get a top 10. And there again, that just shows you the will and the want to that this guy has. He wants to go out and win in everything, whether it's dirt, whether it's asphalt, whether it's cooler racing. I don't know, whether it's whatever. Kyle Larson wants to go out and win, man. So I definitely think that he's a guy to watch out for, so I'll take him second there at Darlington this weekend. 3 for me. It hurts my feeling because he's not one of my favorite drivers, but I tell you what, the guy is doing great. He's running consistent. I think that he's finally getting it figured out, and that's Kyle Busch in the 18. You know, there again, had a really good, strong run in the spring at Darlington last year. Totally different race car, totally different feel, but I think that the teams are starting to get it figured out, and I think him and the crew chief are starting to click a little bit. Him and Ben Bashore are kind of getting figured out what Kyle Busch needs. Now, I also say this all the time. I feel like the practice is helping a little bit. It's not a lot, but I think the more seat time you give Kyle Busch for him to drive that race car in, the better he's going to get. And I had a real good friend of mine, Vet, kind of steer me in that direction and give me that outlook on Kyle Busch. And, driving that race car in during those practices and getting it set to where he wants it for that race. So there again, that's something else I think we got to keep an eye on. But I'll take the Candy Man himself as number 3 on my list. 4 for me, that's going to be the winner from last spring, Martin Truex Jr. We just saw what he did there at Dover. Had a really good race car. I thought he was going to come home and get a third place finish there and get me and LB in the goods again there on our money bet. But he came up a little bit short, and I didn't really talk about it too much, man, but I think that Ross Chastain and him had a real good talk, and I think Truex pretty much just told him at the end of the day, it wasn't about where we're going now. It wasn't about where we're fishing or what kind of bait we're using. It was pretty much, I think, if you block me like that again, I'm going to take you out. Now, I don't think Ross Chastain was wrong at all for what he did. It's the last lap coming in the last set of turns. You got to race for it, and we all know Ross Chastain, the Watermelon Man, is a very aggressive driver. So I'm not going to fault Ross Chastain. I think that's one of those racing deals. But I think you got to look at it from the perspective of Truex was a little bit faster than him for a while. He gave him the respect to race him clean, not to put the bumper to him multiple times throughout that last 20, 30 laps. So there again, it's a give and take. Ross Chastain, it's something he's going to have to learn, but I can guarantee you, I think that if he runs them hard here at Darlington and holds them up a little bit, Truex is definitely going to use that bumper, and it might cost Chastain a good race car or a good points-paying race. So we're just going to have to wait and see. But I'll take Truex there at 4. He always seems to run good there at Darlington. He has a knack for it. There again, that 19 team is going to run strong. They're heating up, moving into the summer. Coming into some of his better racetracks as well. So we'll have to see if Martin can go ahead and get that first win of the 2022 season for him. Know it's a contract year. Know he wants to get that win. A lot of people are talking retirement. I don't know if Truex is ready to retire. I'm not going to go that far yet. But I will say I know he's getting later on in that career. I know he's got family. I know they've got stuff that they deal with. So I also know that Joe Gibbs has a grandson that's coming up named Ty. So I don't know what's going to happen there yet. We're going to have to wait and see. We're still young in the season. We're not even a third. This marks a third of the way this Sunday coming up. We still got 26 more races, 27 if you count the All-Star race. So we're just going to have to wait and see what happens there in that 19 camp. But going into Darlington, I'll take them 4 on my list. 5 for me, it's not going to be a car numbered 1, but I tell you what it is going to be. It was very hard to decide between these two guys. It's William Byron. William Byron in that 24 car had a really good car last spring there. He got a top 5 or top 6 finish. I know it was a top 10 for sure there at Darlington. I think this kid in the sim racing that he does, and just already having 2 wins this season, coming into a track where he's got it kind of figured out. If they bring good car, they got good speed. Look out for William the Kid, Byron as I like to call him, Willie the Kid. The man's going to bring that 24 car and could very well easily end up in victory lane for a 3rd win of the season, which how crazy would that be? I mean, who would have thought at the start of the season, not even 12 races in, we'd be talking, William Byron winning 25% of the races we've run. That's a stat right there. And like I said, Hendrick Motorsports has won 5 out of the first 11. That's almost 50%. That ain't too bad. That's not too shabby over there in their Chevys, man. So keep a lookout for that 24 car there Sunday at Darlington as well. See if he can tame the old lady in black there. But dark horses, 2 guys that are winless yet that I think that are on the verge. And we talked about it earlier in the year, and one of them in the 8 car, Tyler Reddick. We know that Darlington there in the later part of those runs can come to running that high line. Who better than Tyler Reddick to do it? I mean, him and Larson are really 2 of the best that ever do that. I think that if Tyler Reddick can go out, keep his nose clean, get that track position, no mistakes, no spin outs, no tire issues, no pit road issues, I think that we could be talking about Tyler Reddick in victory lane on Sunday easy as well. On the other side of that, another dark horse pick. There again, they're not too far back in that field. And this was really hard for me, but Christopher Bell, the 20 car, we saw him there have one of the fastest race cars late in those runs at Dover. I think he's had some things not go his way. He's had some trouble. He's kind of cost himself a little bit. I think there again, if he can keep the track position, the nose clean, bring fast equipment, I think there again, this kid could go out and we could be talking about that first win of the season for him as well. So those are two guys to keep a lookout for. If you want to go a little darker to me, Eric Jones in that 43 car, that's somebody else you really got to keep an eye on. That kid knows how to get around Darlington. And there again, Richard Petty has brought some really good equipment in the last few weeks in and out of the season so far. So moving into Darlington, what a cool thing it would be to see the 43 back in victory lane there with the throwback paint scheme, paying homage to the king himself. That would be something for the headlines to write about. So that'd be the third dark horse and final dark horse, man. Moving right into the money bet. Now, this is where me and Lawrence like to make the bread and butter. As you know, we called out Chase Elliott on that money bet to go ahead and hit last week. I didn't say it was a very good bet as far as the odds go, but hey, we ended up taking him for the win. Ended up paying off, man. We added $50 into that bank last week after what we bet. $50 profit, not too bad, man. So let's see here. A money bet, 9 car. We had him plus 350 to win at Dover. And we're on a roll with the money bet. We're plus $365 on the year. So at one time we were in the 400s. We lost a little bit there a couple weeks. But hey, we hit something last week. It's always good. Anything that you can bring home profit is always going to be good. So there again, this week, we're not going to go too deep. We're not going to go too far deep at all. We're going to take a solid guy that there again I talked about. He's on that top 5 list. We're going to go with Martin Truex Jr. to go to the win. 7-1 odds. It's not a huge payday, but there again, at the end of the day, I think it's a solid bet. If you're looking for some guys a little bit bigger payday, William Byron, I had him in the top 5. They got him listed at 12-1. I think the kid could easily go out and win that race as well. And then if you're going even further back than that, Christopher Bell, as I mentioned, is one of those dark horses, 30-1. So me and Lawrence will probably take a couple of those guys' top 3. One of those guys to win. We'll probably throw somebody else in there. I got to take a look at the odds and see who they kind of fudged on a little bit or where they're slipping. But I will say this. The biggest trap on that Vegas odds bet for me this week is going to be Denny Hamlin. I know that he's got 4 career wins there at Darlington, maybe even more than that, but at the end of the day, you just lost your crew chief and you lost 2 crew members for 4 races. And this is going to be very important because we are going to have green flag pit stops, numerous. I think they're bringing 12 sets of tires at Darlington. So that's going to tell you how abrasive and what they think the tire wear is going to be. And on the green flag pit stops are key there, track position and what you're going to do. So there again, that I think is a money trap. You're definitely going to want to stay away from Hamlin if you ask me. Now, I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. He could go out and win the damn race for all I know. I mean, hell, I don't know what's going to happen. But I'm just saying I'm not putting my money on that 11 FedEx team this week. So got some good news right here, man. And it's going to be something that's added onto the show every single week that we're doing on Rubbin' and Grubbin'. We got another sponsor that came on board, and I'm proud to announce Lamar's Body Shop, man. Lamar is an awesome dude. He's a patron here at Coach's Corner. He has donated numerous amounts of money to numerous charity events that we do up here at Coach's. So, hey, as I say, he's been proudly serving the Savannah area for 35 years. He's right here off Skidaway, man. And what a better sponsor for the hard right turn we're getting ready to get into, right? You need some body repair, man. You need some paint done. You need one of those insurance, claims, estimates for your insurance company. Make sure you go see Lamar and his team, man. Locally owned, operated, like I said, serving the Savannah area for 35 years. He's going to do you right. He's going to be straight up and up front with you, man. He's going to give you some great service. And Lamar, I love you, brother. Thank you so much for joining the team, man. My family's personally had vehicles repaired by him, and they come out looking A1 every single time, man. So like I said, go see Lamar, and thank you, brother, for joining on the Rubbin' and Grubbin' team, man. I absolutely love you, brother. Coming into that hard right turn, NASCAR, man. New car, new tricks. Man, I'm telling you what, and this is what I mean by that. Look, when NASCAR next gen car coming out, it seems that a lot of these older drivers are struggling, right? I've named a couple. I would say Kyle Busch is one of them, and if you want to consider him an older driver, and, Denny Hamlin got a win. But outside of that, man, we're seeing a lot of the guys that have been in the sport for a long time, the Kevin Harvicks, the Eric Almirollas, a lot of big-name guys, and even some of these younger-name guys, they're struggling, right? So the question that I have to ask tonight, and I'd love to hear some comments on it, is it the car or is it the driver? And what I mean by that is we've seen shifting in the center of turns at Bristol on dirt. We've seen shifting in areas that we're not used to seeing. We're seeing different setups. We're seeing all kinds of different things that we have to learn about this race car. And it takes a very special individual to grow and adapt. We saw, Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Gordon, Tony Stewart. We saw a lot of guys win in a lot of different model race cars throughout their career. But what we also saw is these guys later in their career, I think, kind of lose the spark. I mean, let's be honest. Jimmy Johnson went winless in a retirement season. He went winless there towards the end of his career for a while. We're talking, in my book, probably one of the best, if not the greatest race car driver of the modern era. 83 wins, 5 championships in a row, 7 tying Earnhardt Sr. and Petty. And this guy went winless as we changed race cars in the style of racing and the parts and the way we race them and set them up. So we saw Jeff Gordon struggle with the same stuff, I think. I think that older guys lose that spark. They're not willing to put that car in places that it doesn't belong like these young guys are. These young guys are still hungry. Now, like I said, Kyle Busch being an exception due to the fact I don't think that guy's ever going to lose the hunger to go out and win. He'll wreck you for a checkered flag in a heartbeat, I promise you that. He'll wreck his mom. He'd wreck his we've seen him wreck his damn brother. I mean, either way, he'll wreck anybody. He'll wreck his grandmama in a damn grocery cart if it's for a checkered flag and a trophy. So at the end of the day, I think it's something that we got to look at. I think that a lot of these guys are coming there towards the end of their career. I think that they're losing a little bit of that fire. I think that the next-gen car presents a whole new set of problems in the setups. Not necessarily the way we drive them, but the setup is what the big deal is. And it's just the feel in the race car. When they sit in that seat and they get behind the wheel, they want to feel when they drive it. And if they don't have that feel sometimes, they say, I can't drive it. And these young guys go, I might not have the feel, but I'm gonna drive the hell out of it. So just something I wanted to bring up. Love to hear you guys' comments about it, man. And there again, another big shout out there to Lamar's Body Shop. I appreciate you. I love you, brother. So moving on to the grubbing. That's going to seal it up for the rubbing. Man, that's the racing part. Now we're going on to the second part of the show, the grubbing part. And, man, this is one of my favorite things they do here at Coaches. They do these lunch specials every single week. They are all cooked from scratch, home-cooked meals. Most of them are Southern style. And I'm telling you what, if you haven't decided to have one yet, you have to make sure that you come up and get one, man. They are absolutely phenomenal. They are amazing. They do a great job with the kitchen staff here at Coaches. I don't think there's anything bad you can get off of the menu, but this is an awesome option. Every Wednesday they run this. We got that fried pork chop special, collard greens, black eyed peas and rice, man. I'm telling you, the Kyle Busch special. Yeah, hey, I throw him the bone. I wouldn't give him nothing else. I treat him like I do the dog at home. I give him the damn bone, but I ain't giving him nothing else. But I tell you what, man, this is awesome. John and Adele Henderson do such a great job putting on a great menu. And like I said, this is one of those lunch specials daily. You can come up here Monday through Friday. They run it. They've got all kinds of different things they do. But if you haven't had the pork chop and the greens yet from out of Coaches, you got to make sure you get this. This is one of my favorite meals. I'm getting ready to tear into this as soon as I get off air, man. So, as always, got to give a big shout-out out there to PJ Zuko and ESPN 104.3 Coastal. I don't know if PJ went to the race in Open Dover. I know him and his family used to for years. If you tuned in, they were off air completely. I don't know if they're having issues with the station. I don't know what was going on, but we definitely missed another episode of Green, White, Checkered. But hopefully we get it right and we get back on the air this Sunday. But every Sunday, 9 to 9:30, you can catch PJ Zuko and myself breaking down everything new in NASCAR, catching up on everything we miss here in Rubbin' and Grubbin'. PJ does such an amazing job putting that together, man, and doing that. And I'm so proud to be a part of that there at ESPN 104.3 Coastal. Like I said, every single Sunday morning, 9 to 9:30. Make sure you tune in. Green, White, Checkered, 104.3 ESPN Coastal. You can also catch that streaming on their Facebook Live page. So make sure one way or another you tune in and listen to that, man. It's an awesome show. Hey, want to give a couple little shout-outs on that Coaches. This weekend, man, they got a couple concerts Friday night coming out here to the Soundgarden. Saturday night is going to be a big one. It is that Freebird Leonard Skinner tribute band, man. It is an awesome show. I've got to check my work schedule. I'm trying to get off a little bit early to get up here and do one of these charity Cooler Full of Joys. I'm not going to make any promises, but if I can make it happen, it will happen. But it is going to happen in the month of May at some point in time, y'all. Oh, yeah? Got one lined up, man. So it's definitely going to go down. Hopefully, I'll be up here pumping some raffle tickets, like I say. So make sure you guys show up for that. If you have not yet, as I always say, if you hadn't made it out to Coaches for a live concert, you got to be living under a rock or incarcerated, because that's the only two way you missing music here at Coaches, man. I'm telling you right now, it is awesome. John and Adele and everybody at Coaches, all their partners and everything they do have put together probably one of, if not in my heart, the best live music venue here in the Low Country in Savannah. They have awesome shows. You can go on Eventbrite and check out some of the lineups. Download that Coaches app. You can go on Coaches Corner Facebook, see all the music lineup that they have going from March all the way through August. There is some really good bands, not only this month, but throughout the months of the summer. I know July is going to be a sellout month. You've got all kinds of music coming up. So if you haven't yet, make sure you come out. Check that out. As I always say, man, great place, great food, great friends, great drinks, great times held right here at Coach's Corner, Thunderbolt, Georgia, the center of the universe, man. So make sure you come on out and check that out, man. But want to give a big shout out to all the Coach Corner Sports Network shows, man. You got Coach Carl DeMasi and Kyle Lawson coming on right after this, hopefully, with that Who's on First Base, breaking down all that news in baseball, letting you know the ins and outs, what you need to know, what you need to do, what you're keeping up with, all that news about Major League Baseball, man. And I tell you what, it is an awesome show. Every Saturday, you can tune in right here as well. You're going to catch that Carl DeMasi Sports Report. As an awesome Coach Carl has been a staple here for many, many years in the Savannah area, man. I tell you what, he is an awesome dude. He knows his sports. He's breaking down everything local, everything sports-wise, and want to give him and his family a big congratulations. I saw that his son got hired on out there at Calvary Day, and I'm definitely going to be checking out that first game of the season next year for football, because you got Islands High squaring off with Calvary and family going at it. So I'm going to make sure I pop in for that one for sure, man. But love you, Coach. Hope to see you soon, brother. Hey, like I always say, make sure you can tune in, catch that anywhere you download and stream your podcast. Hot Grits, Travis and Spencer doing an awesome job. Those guys are hilarious. They're, again, breaking down everything sports, everything that's going on. They add their own little twist to it. Again, you can stream that anywhere you stream your podcast. It is an awesome, awesome show they put on. The Herbs, if you haven't yet, go check out that YouTube, the 19th hole. I'm trying to get Sean and I'm trying to get Brent to at least break down some rounds, Saturday, Sunday rounds for these majors, which they need to come up here and do, man. I think it would be an awesome thing, giving their picks, doing that news, man, on the weekends. They're up here anyways, like I say. I think it would be an awesome deal they could do, but we'll see if we get it lined up. But, hey, man, thank you guys for tuning in so much tonight. Greatly appreciated. I hope y'all enjoyed the show. I hope you have a great evening on this Wednesday. Hey, go out and celebrate Cinco. Everybody have an amazing Mother's Day. Make sure you hug your mama, give her kisses, cook her dinner, get her the best gift you possibly can. My mom is probably one of the most influential people in my life. She has held me down through the thick and thin. She has taught me the rights and wrongs. She has definitely been there for me, and I love my mom to death. Miss Nancy Bain, I love you, Mama. You know that. But like I always say, hug your loved ones, man. Stay safe. God bless. I'm going to break it down. One thing before I get off, there's something I wanted to touch base on. People in Savannah area, man, come on, let's come together. Let's stop this gun violence we got going on out here in these streets in this city, man. This stuff is running rampant. It is absolutely destroying the hostess city, man. We got to get this in check. We'll come together for all kinds of other things. We'll march and we'll do all kinds of stuff for other things, but we got to come together as one, man, and get this stuff figured out. We got too many young people dying. We got too many people dying in general due to gun violence over stupid shit, man. So let's get this together, man. But until the next time, y'all stay safe. Like I said, hug your loved ones. And as always, y'all, bam, wash your hands, y'all. Love y'all, man. Y'all have a great night. Oh, yeah. That was a good one, man.